Attention gamers. Picture this. You are just casually rocking a KDA worthy of making grown women wet as you rally up the boys to reenact an alternate ending for How to Train Your Dragon where the main characters just kill the dumb thing instead of making it their therapy pet, and behold, a big booger cum snot rocketing his way in to stir the pit pot you're all in, so you quickly whip out your Mucinex, but then somehow this, which turned into this, well actually it was just this. Did this? But no good story on YouTube starts at the end where you can just get what you clicked on the video for and get on with your day. So to set the scene with irrelevant details, I was filming a collab with 2 other YouTubers, and since our autofill ADC locked in Twitch, they figured it would be fun to make it a party of peekabooers with none other than Zwag, the man who fetishizes himself to sleep at night thinking about having perfect CS after the first wave, playing Pike, and the man, the myth, the Jagob jester being played by Heiz, who is no stranger to initiating clown mitosis at perfect times. Which left me with the short stick stuck rocking this BDSM sex and up top praying that sharp object Scarlett Johansson didn't turn the lane into a repetitive Rav roast, but I was happy to do it for these guys who totally knew my name.
We have Raz and Heiz with us.
And as a side plot, there was a rather severe case of Swain syndrome on the other team that resulted in a blaze at baffling amount of deaths as well as your standard Yone player, and I would be remiss to not highlight some of that for you. So if you are excited to see this collab featuring a quadra stealth comp / Swain syndrome / drag steal of a century with your standard classic wind shitter on the other team searching for his brain cells the whole time as icing, then please politely piss on that upward thumb button and let's get into the game. Now, like I mentioned, I was up north on this sex slave of a scorpion just waiting for Chuckles to come up, but every time I walked up to the wave I got dick slapped by her orbiting knife set, so I resorted to showing her a picture of my hoo-ha instead, which worked like a charm, and then I remembered that we should still be social distancing for the time being, so I hung back until Heiz needed me to come back and fail, predict a flash, and then steal the kill for myself. And in case the 20 death nip flash I gave you of this Swain in the intro wasn't enough to convince you of him having the IQ of Dryerlint, then please enjoy our first introduction where he found himself on the wrong end in a game of follow the flashing leader until a celeb shot from Zyra's spitting tulip took him down. And when he got back to lane he wasted no time or apparently concern for positioning to inform the walking rose bush that his spidey senses were right about her stroking one out in the shrubs, and since he's a league player I'm assuming he was happy with trading a death and a hard L in exchange for proving that he was right about something stupid. Anyways, word quickly spreads that they have a defective support, and since Evelyn sitting in a lane is about as useful as a crocheted piss pot, I head south for a vacation. And I arrived just in time to witness some pale-skinned caffeine addict get murdered, which is just what I needed to give my pink pigtails a boner, so I run in and lube them up with goo, which causes quite the splooge, which quickly changes our objective to preventing some cellular fusion, and you gotta give it to that thorn slut because her spitting tulips just know how to steal the credit. I start calling a cab to take me back to Boris when I have a change of heart, because I figure based off of Rift Alexa narrating Edgar Allan Poe's obituary on repeat all game it's only a matter of time before Where's Waldo becomes Waldo's a dumb shit, and sure enough he walks straight into my trap, so I let him know that he has a secret admirer before Zwag's crop dust stuns I probe and angry Gramps here dies. So then it's back to base for real this time until I see that queefing firecracker, not quite understanding that the last 4 people to do what she is doing died a miserable death, so I shadow / mirror or whatever bullshit LCS lingo would best describe this copycat act, but the entrance of that vaulting sinus infection is my cue to come and flirt with the anorexic alphabet and then stab her with my sharp cornrows. And then 2 girls 1 cup has nothing on 4 stealths 1 plant 1 jumping jello shot, so he too gets slayed for the second time in this sequence. And just when you thought this board-certified pissing festival was commencing, the windshitter comes down covering his eyes as he runs in like he's about to land a blind trick shot before hitting a fruit ninja into admitting he has a crush on me combo, so I hit my peace out button. He returns to his sperm tether and our rotten rat does what any cocky little shitter would do. Walk away all thug life, flash that mastery just to not get the kill, and I guess Swain felt bad that we got robbed out of it, so he flashes in to donate himself instead. But eventually we had to return top to make sure that broken dashing Duchette and her diamonds didn't get bored all alone, to which she expresses a deep distaste for clowns to the point where she would rather dash back in to kill one twice even if it meant dying for it. Back to the Raven fetish feeder, and I guess getting spit on in the shrubs once wasn't enough to convince him that it was warded, so he sticks around until it's proven for a second time, and then he ponders if his same exact plan that just failed miserably twice might work in the next bush, but then the walking Viney with the nice hiney says that's where she draws the line. Then unfortunately I can slut around the whole rift adding to my body count all I want, but there is still a bladed Betty back at home to entertain, so the sewage simp tries his luck but she doesn't seem interested in anything he offers, so I come in to see if a threesome would be more appealing, which does indeed get her attention, so we start heckling and then I press the one button to rule them all. And in case you are having deja vu because you just saw it take multiple fed people to take down a one kill Aurelia, I want to assure you that you are not, and that Riot devs just apparently have a midday circle jerk in the break room instead of attending the daily balance meeting, leaving me alone, and in lieu of I don't know using any of my abilities I decide to just do nothing and then waste my flash and let it be someone else's problem. Then I guess the ARAM invitations went out early and I am always down to clown if there will be a clown, which there was indeed, so I decided to show why I have a tattoo on my ass that says why use Q when you can jam R, and then I rapid fire queef some horny thornies to her dog the rest away. And this leaves just Jar Jar Binks alone, so I send her a notification that says what is love, and then she says oh baby don't hurt me, but I do, I actually killed her. Oh, and remember when I said hi says that clown mitosis timing down to a science? Well, check that shit out, it hyped me up enough to freaking murder the fickle gun slut again, and this prompted quite the Swain alt out of the levitating loser now in hot pursuit to fulfill his destiny of being the most dead bitch on the rift, so I called up Zwag and asked him if he has heard of the Dua Lipa 180, to which he said no, so I said okay, just turn around and murder this floating menstrual cycle, and I have to say he did well. Then it was time to join back up with Heiz, who was still enjoying the classic I'm over here now annoying as fuck mini games that dumb champ always plays, and unfortunately for the top heavy goo there were 3 of us the next time he popped out, so we quickly disinfected the lane of both him and the 4 potential heirs to his throne. Oh, and let the record show that this strippered up sex ant then encountered a wind shitter and left him with quite the case of blue balls. And what was Swain up to, you might ask? Well, he was just planning his surprise as the staple child for what we refer to as support diff in this game. Now most people would see this Jinx edging in and out of my stalker sight and classify her as one shot, but we in the stripper scorpion industry would refer to her being butt-ass naked, dilated and puckered up, ready to take her and her friends to Pound Town, and despite Pike getting flash booger bombed before he hits a streptococcus slingshot out of there, I vouched to do my part by showing how effective a flash evault is when you were the product of incest then adopted and raised by apes. And speaking of people who have a room temperature IQ, their Swain remains completely consistent in his performance, knowing that achieving a 20 bomb on the death count is a marathon, not a sprint. But this shitter sprints his marathons as he immediately gets caught out and Golden Girls himself, so I can get some KP out of it, and then I catch a case of ineptitude from his dead corpse when I ult thinking I'm playing fucking Quinn for some reason out of nowhere, which is unfortunate because now my ADC is getting manhunted by Manny Mucus and a mouth breather, and I can't help because I'm tabbed out WebMDing to find out if I have any other symptoms of Alzheimer's. So by the time I come back to the game he is dead, and there's an entire memorial service down here to commemorate the death of weaponized Ratatouille, so I do my part by stealing the kill on one, then participating in some group fruit ninja before whiffing my one and only skill shot to prove that I am worthy of the credit for the second kill as well. Then the booger Benjamin buttons himself into 4 baby boogers and we bludgeon them one at a time. And it's important to remember that they may have a wind shitter and a Swain with a sea monkey on the controls, but they also have an Aurelia laughing my fucking ass off, am I right? Like even when we do get a successful game of Smear the 200 years, she just wakes up and proceeds to hit us with the anal inversion 1v5000 that she was in the middle of as she gets baited, hooked and cucked, but it simply does not matter, boys and girls. Oh, and Swain was there too, being a big help. Anyways, we catch the guy who dual wields brain cells in the forest, so I ask how he plans on tapping that tantrum tomato when he is too busy staring at my tits. Then I take one look at his pale side chick and say, see, I can take your man if I want to. Then I pull out my stain-ridden Masturbating for Dummies book and suggest that we pretend to be whacking the river worm, which catches that broken Betty with her penis in her hand ready to get dunked as I get bounced like a bong at a hookah bar, but it worked out because the Ninja Turtle was all about that XNXX clout in this one as the ghost of Yone's past returns to his dead bitch corpse. But we discovered the secret formula to defeating an average Aurelia in this game. First I tease my OnlyFans to distract her, Pike RKOs the hoe, and Chester the Jester calls his twin bro in, and we were able to take down the raid boss. And then it happened. We start chomping on this thick white meat when the area gets infected, so I do my best immune system impersonation thinking we are in the clear, only for the beast to fall 2 seconds later with Rift Alexa deeming the Dragon Death Dealer as Zack, and under further review, it looks like a combination of Sunfire Cape and Demonic Embrace packing the dots to carry on his legacy after he had died. So I believe the appropriate response is to start saying, remember the time our master tier jungler Heizman lost a smite battle to a dead Zaxdots, but it didn't seem to matter because he then went on to distract the peanut gallery of pathetic little piggies as I snuck in the back door, not a sex joke this time, and ended the game. And so with that I just want to say, remember the time our master tier jungler Heizman lost a smite battle to a dead Zaxdots, and check out my new channel called Rav Rambles. Raz out.
With Rabby boy, I'm in your crib with the blappy boy. Talk to me slick and don't pop in your pappy. If happy talk back, then I'm taking your Grammy, and boy oh boy, I'll make her happy. Let's go.